Lesson 28, Battle for Life, Part 3. In our previous lessons, we learned several principles for battles for life. Let's do a quick review first. First, we learned that more liberties beat fewer liberties. And with equal liberties, the first to move wins. Then we also learned that during a battle for life, when both external liberties and shared liberties exist at the same time, we must always take away the external liberties first and take shared liberties last. After that, we also learned how to take away hidden liberties. Hidden liberties are actually a type of external liberty. Alright, in this lesson, we are going to learn a new concept. When taking away liberties, we must learn to take the liberties of the keystone. So, how should we understand this? Let's look at a problem. Okay, I will set up the shape for this battle for life. Now, a battle for life shape has appeared on the board. By analyzing it, we can see that these two black stones and these 6 white stones are surrounding each other, forming a battle for life. Then, we notice that these 2 black stones currently only have 2 liberties, while these 6 white stones appear to have more than 2 liberties. It looks like they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 liberties. So, it seems that in this battle for life, white has more liberties. But this is where we need to apply the concept we are learning today, which is the liberties of the keystones. We must take away the keystone's liberties first. So, what exactly are the keystones? Usually, among the stones involved in the battle for life, the ones that are directly connected to these 2 black stones are called the keystones. Because if we can capture these 3 stones, we can save these 2 black stones. But if we try to capture the other 3 stones, even if we manage to capture them, it still wouldn't save these 2 black stones. Therefore, we call the stones adjacent to black the keystones. If we can clearly distinguish which stones are the keystones and which stones are irrelevant to the main battle for life, then we can successfully find our target for taking away liberties. For example, if we observe carefully right now, we will see that these 3 stones are closely connected to the 2 black stones, so they are the keystones. Meanwhile, these other 3 white stones are not directly adjacent to the 2 black stones. So we must first take away the liberties of these 3 white stones. So we use a technique we learned before called Atari. White can only connect now. After this exchange of moves, we will find that white's liberties have suddenly been reduced to just 2. Then, with the next move, black can continue to Atari and capture white. Now, let's look back at this problem. If black's first move failed to correctly identify the keystones, and didn't take away the keystone's liberties, suppose we played here instead, wouldn't white be able to capture black's 2 keystones in just one move? Similarly, if this move was played at this position, the battle for life would still end with white winning. Okay, so playing Atari on these 3 stones is what we call taking the liberties of the keystones. Alright, let's set up another problem. Okay, for example, in this problem, let's first analyze the targets. These 3 black stones and these 6 white stones surround each other, forming a battle for life, and again, black only has 2 liberties. So how many liberties do these white stones seem to have? It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 liberties. However, if we analyze it carefully, we will find that these 4 white stones are the keystones because they are closely connected to black. While these 2 white stones are not directly connected to black. Therefore, when taking away liberties, we must focus on the keystone's liberties. And by observing, we can see that these 4 keystones actually only have 2 liberties. So, for our first move, we should play Atari at this position. Please be careful not to place it in the tiger's mouth, or white will capture it. Right, that would definitely be wrong. So, we need to play Atari at this position, forcing white to connect. Okay, now, after this exchange of moves, the entire white group is left with only 2 liberties. We can Atari again to successfully capture white. Alright, this is also a typical example of finding the opponent's keystone's liberties and taking them away during a capturing race. The examples I've shown so far all use Atari, a technique we learned before to take away liberties. Now, what if black's first move didn't target the keystone's liberties? For instance, if it played at this position, directly taking a liberty here, white would just play Atari, and these 3 black stones would die. Through these 2 problems, we should now understand the concept of taking the keystone's liberties. And both problems we just looked at used Atari to take the keystone's liberties and capture the opponent. Next, let's review another capturing technique we learned previously. We can use this technique to take liberties and capture the opponent. It is called a throw-in. We use a throw-in to reduce the opponent's liberties and capture them. Okay, let's first set up a shape like this in the corner. Let's analyze it. The targets in this battle for life are these 5 black stones and these 4 white stones surrounding each other. Then let's count their liberties. Black still has 2 liberties, but how many does white have? Here, we need to pay attention if we look for the keystone's liberties. We will find that these three white stones are all closely connected to black, so they are all keystones. And these three white stones only have two liberties, while this single white stone has three. So this situation tests our ability to find the crucial method for taking away liberties. The method we used just now was to directly play Atari on the keystones and win through a series of Ataris. Let's try that in this problem. If black directly plays Atari and white connects, we will find that white now has three liberties, while black only has two, so black gets captured. Therefore, a direct Atari is the wrong move here. This is where we need a concept we learned before. When learning the snapback, we learned the term throw in, throwing a stone into the opponent's tiger's mouth. It often has the effect of destroying the opponent's liberties. We use a throw in to create a snapback. And we also use a throw in to destroy the opponent's eye shape. So in this shape, we use a throw in. We throw into the tiger's mouth, forcing the opponent to capture, and then we Atari white. If white connects now, we will find that white is left with only two liberties. Okay, my throw-in forced white to add an extra stone at this position 1, which reduced white's own liberties. Now, black can play Atari, winning the race by exactly one liberty and capturing white. So, a throw-in is a very common method for taking liberties. Please remember that a throw-in is often used to reduce the opponent's liberties, or to destroy the opponent's eye. Okay, let's do one more. Alright, let's look at this problem. The main subjects of this battle for life are these 4 black stones and these 6 white stones. We can also see that it seems white can still connect back along the bottom. That is okay. Let's analyze specifically how black should play. Right now, black still has 2 liberties, while white on the left seems to have quite a few liberties. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we mentioned, white can still connect back. So again, we first look for the keystones adjacent to black. By observing, we see these 2 white stones are adjacent to black. But these 2 white stones are not adjacent to black. So it looks like these 2 are the keystones. Then we need to find a spot where these keystones have fewer liberties. We see that these 2 stones have 3 liberties, while these 2 only have 2 liberties. So we should focus on taking away the liberties of these 2 keystones. So how should black play here? If we simply play Atari and white connects, we can see that white now has 3 liberties. While black still has two liberties, black would be captured by white, so this move is wrong. Therefore, we need to use the throw-in technique we just learned. Please remember that a throw-in is often used to reduce liberties. We first throw in here, right into the tiger's mouth, forcing white to capture, and then we Atari. At this point, if white connects, we will find that, compared to before, white has an extra stone here. This stone reduces white's own liberties, eliminating one of its liberties. If I had directly played Atari like this, white would have a liberty here, winning the race 3-2. But the throw-in eliminates this liberty for white. If white connects again, I can now play Atari in a 2 versus 2 liberty race and capture white. So, when black plays Atari here, white can no longer save its 2 keystones. Black obviously wins the race by capturing the keystones. This is another shape where a throw-in reduces liberties to win a battle for life. So, to summarize this lesson, first, we learned what keystones are in a battle for life. They are the stones closely connected to the opposing stones in the race, often called keystones. And when taking away liberties, we must prioritize taking the keystone's liberties. In this lesson, we demonstrated relatively simple methods, or methods we learned before. One is through continuous Ataris, and the other is using a throw-in to take the keystone's liberties, thereby winning the battle for life. Alright, that is all for this lesson.